So dance to the dreamers, the seekers, the wise. Crystal lavender will reach in the skies. Through tarot and starlight will always roam. In the heart of the universe we found our home. Comes where the mystics play. We speak the language of the Milky Way. A touch of Venus, a kiss from the moon, guiding lost hearts with a sweet gentle tune.
Breathe in, breathe out. Hello, hello. Welcome here. Welcome back. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you're on and whatever time you are watching this video. This episode of As the Tarot Turns is brought to you on purpose with purpose, and I am your host, Crystal Lavender. So we are going to do Libra Collective. Hi, Libra. Happy birthday, Team Libra. And before we get started, we are going to talk about this. This is my book. It is called Say You Love, and it is a testimony of triumph over the darkness of childhood sexual trauma and addiction. Okay, and I wrote this whole entire book using my phone. I did the whole entire process with some paper and my phone. It's amazing what you can accomplish with little computers in your pocket. This little guy right here. Okay, so I share my story as a message of hope and inspiration for anybody out there that is struggling in silence. Like, hi, my name is Crystal, and I am a recovered addict. I am 3+ years into recovery, and I share my story very loudly so that anybody that is suffering silently can hear me. Okay. I went through a lot. I went through all kinds of childhood stuff, and then into my teenage years, like I ran away from home, like I was homeless on the streets of Las Vegas, Nevada. Then I was hitchhiking across the country and hopping illegal freight trains and traveling with the Rainbow Family, and like I was like a lead singer of a punk rock band and a tattoo artist and all kinds of craziness. All kinds of craziness is in this right here. And I try to help as many humans as I possibly can, like turn their pain into purpose and transmute that energy. All right. So that's what we do around here. We transmute pain into purpose. So hi, Libra, welcome here. Let's see what we got. We are going to see what's up with Team Libra. What do we got for Team Libra? Let's go with this one first. Team Libra. Please remember to hit that little like button on your way in or on your way out. It is a little click for you, but a big bada boom for me, okay? Big bada boom, chicken good, multi-pass, okay? Ain't no unity without community. Team Libra. What do we got for Team Libra? Bam, bam, bam. Lovely Libras. What's going on with the lovely Libras? Happy birthday, Libra. I'm a Libra too, so hey girl, hey boy, hey. What's up with Team Libra? What do we got? We have one more shuffle. And shabam. So, Libra, has the end of something made you feel very impulsive? Like, did something end and it got you like all up in your feels? You know, like you had some sort of emotional loss with the Death card and the Ace of Cups in reversed. So it might made you feel a little bit impulsive. You know, a part of you wants to be all super ruthless, you know, like go back to that, like it brought out that energy in you, you know, and you might have to take a step back and be like, I've come too far to go backwards, okay? So there might have been somebody or some situation that definitely tested your patience, and it's taken a lot of strength to pull yourself out of that energy. You're like, no, like I ain't going backwards. Like there might have been somebody that was testing you just to see if you would react a certain way. You know, maybe back in the day, if they pushed this button, you would give this reaction. They pushed this button, you would give this reaction. You know, and now they're pushing that button and they're not getting that same reaction. You know, so congratulate yourself for that. This is Mojo. She plays fetch. Let me see. Watch. Mojo. She's a fetch kitty. She'll play fetch. So that's Mojo. She's one of my co-hosts. So it's taken you a lot of strength to be the person that you are today, Libra. Like, you've probably been around the block, you know what I mean? Like, you've probably made a bunch of stupid decisions, let people get you all up off your throne, you know, like, let them push your buttons and get a reaction out of you. But you ain't doing that this time. Like, you ain't playing that game. You ain't letting that button work. It's like they go to push that button and that button's broken. You know, you could have been dealing with a Pisces or a Leo or a Scorpio. But yeah, you've turned on that cold button. It's like there's no reaction. There's no resentment. There's no like revenge. There's no envy. There's no competition. No nothing. It's just bloop, off, cold. Like, you've learned how to turn that off button. Maybe the button was always on. Like, you always had that emotional button on, and like somehow or another you figured out how to turn that button off. So that button does not work no more. You know, definitely not for this person. So congratulations, it's probably taken you a long time to learn how to turn that button off. Yeah, there was definitely somebody that was maybe younger than you, very emotionally immature, you know, and it's only because they're insecure. They have insecurities. See, I'm going to play inner fetch. If I can get it in there. There's a little mouse. You might have tried chasing after this person. Like, back in the day, you probably tried chasing. You did whatever you could, you know, like, you probably gave a lot of yourself, a lot of your time, a lot of your energy, but you're like, no, you turned into the hermit. You know, something happened and you flipped that switch and you're like, no. Like, I am at peace with myself. Like, you can't throw me off of my throne. Like, you might have been able to do that once before, but not no more. You know, I think this was a really difficult transition for you to make. I think because it's like you have a lot of love in general. Like, you're like, you know, like, you're always seeking to show love, to give love, to have love, to receive love. It's like you're always like you're the sign of partnership, of relationships, and people automatically like assume that Libras like are balanced or are balanced within the relationships. But it's like ultimately like Libras are seeking balance within the relationships, and not until we truly learn how to flip that switch, you know, and stop giving so much of ourselves out to other people, then we really learn like what like have you ever said to yourself, like, man, I wish I could find somebody that loves like I do? You're turning that love like I do to yourself. All right. And I think it's taken a lot of disappointment. Like, you've been really disappointed in people because people don't have the same heart you do. You know, people don't come at things the same way that you do. So you've been really disappointed by that. You know, but then you had to look at that and be like, well, that's not really their fault that they're, you know, that they don't got the heart like me. You know, it's not their fault that they're that way. You know, it's not my fault that that I am this way. You know, it's my fault that I expected them or I assumed that they were. You know, like, we could lessen our expectations of people, and then we'll have a whole hell of a lot less disappointment. You know, because definitely not everybody out there has the same heart, Libra. So I think you started turning that love, you know, when you're like, man, I wish I could find somebody that loves like I do, right? And you're like, well, wait a second, I love like I do. So what happens if I turn that love that I'm giving to everybody else and to everything else, and I turn that shit inwards, and to bam, you flip that switch, right? That's that sun card. That's prosperity, pleasure, happy, vitality, joy, warmth, celebration, success, rebirth. But I don't think it came real easy. It's not like it was just, you know, just like you woke up one day and it was like that. It took a whole lot of struggle and fighting and, you know, crying on the floor of why you weren't good enough, to realize that it was never that you weren't good enough. It was just that you were giving to the wrong people, you know, the wrong people, the wrong situations. And once you flip that script, you know, now you respond differently. Those buttons don't work. Yeah. You've got that mental clarity. Sharpen that sword, sharpen them mind skills, you know? And I don't think you're rude about it. Libras are very diplomatic in their approach, right? A lot of people, it's not about what they say, it's not their message, it's their delivery. And I think that you have perfected your delivery of telling people no or speaking up for yourself. Like, you do it in a way where it's like it doesn't make them feel like they're being attacked, you know, or that they have any room, like any wiggle room to try to persuade you out of your no, you know. And I think that it took you a long time, Libra, a whole, like, you had to surrender. You had to pause, you had to reflect, you had to take accountability. And then after you took the accountability for the cycles, for the things that like you partook in, you know, the part of the process that you helped create or you enabled, you know, like you might have not let somebody do the things that they did to you, but it's somehow or another, like, you enabled them to be able to do that. Like, you probably gave them excuses like, oh, well, they just treated me bad because they were having a bad day. Or, you know, like, I can't harp on them too much because of like the childhood that they had, you know, like you were always giving excuses for other people's shitty behavior. You know, like you would talk yourself out of it. You would talk your way out of whatever it was that was done wrong to you. Well, it's okay. Like, it wasn't really their fault. They didn't mean to do that, you know? And the new you is like, no, like, I'm not talking myself out of it. You show me your true colors. Those are your true colors. Cool. Like, thanks. I'm all out of paint, you know? And because of that, you have flipped your whole world upside down. It's like the people that, you know, like, you're gaining wealth, like financial security, like you're spending more time with your family. You've got something to contribute, you know, like you feel like you have something that you can contribute to the world rather than just being, just existing. It's like you're actually living instead of just existing, you know. And the celebration, chablam, you know, friendships, collaboration, like soul tribe, soul connections, you know, like leaving out that heartbreak. It's funny, this is a Libra card, right? The Three of Swords is a Libra card. You're nurturing self, releasing, letting go. Let them, you know, let them do whatever they're going to do, and they're going to show you what it is that they want to do. You know, if you let them, you just let them go do what they need to do, they'll show you who they are. They'll show you what sort of moral compass they have. They'll show you how much of a genuine person they are or are not, you know? And most of the time, if you're really paying attention, people will tell on themselves. You got the Lovers card. So you might have some sort of significant encounter with somebody that, like, you're like, where do I know you from? You know? In your love area, I think you're going to run into a very significant, like, love connection here real soon, Libra, because of how much work you've been putting in on yourself. I don't think you've ever given up on love, but you're not out there seeking it. It's like you love. You've never given up on love, but you're not out there like, well, when is it coming? When is it coming? When is it coming? Like, is it this person? Is it this person? You know, like, you're not like tasting all the ice cream flavors, you know, you're like, nah, I'm good. You know, like, I don't want to involve myself into any sort of dumpster fires, you know, like, you don't want any sort of anything to repeat from the past. But you're definitely willing to take a leap of faith if something feels right, right? And you might just find that something feels right. You might think like, is my mind playing tricks on me? You know, like, are you too good to be true? Is this really happening? You know, but at the same time, like, you're open to receive love. You know that you've put in the work. You know that if it doesn't feel right, that you'll be able to cut it off. No big deal, you know? So you are definitely willing to test those waters, you know, to take that leap of faith. Like, you still have faith in love. After everything that has happened to you, you still believe in love. You're not actively looking for it, but yeah, you've let go of all the past resentment, making amends with people. Some of you might be working the 12-step program, writing out your amends. You have a desire to forgive and to be forgiven. You know, like you forgive so easily. So like it's really hard for you when people don't offer you that same kind of forgiveness. But like I said, like you understand that not everybody has the same capacity to love like you do. So you're putting that burden down, you know? Some of you feel like you're doing it all by yourself, you know? But you're not doing it by yourself. You are not alone, Libra. You are not alone. You're very emotionally independent. Like you don't rely on nobody. Like at one point in your life, you probably relied on a lot of outside validation. You know, well, why doesn't this person like me? You know, and you'd be up in your head like for days. Well, why are they so mean to me? Like, what did I do? You know, am I really that bad of a person? Or am I really that bad of a lover? Or am I like, why did I deserve this? And it's like, you flip that script. You don't ask yourself, why did I deserve that? You're like, you know what? Like I take accountability for allowing myself to be disrespected like that. You know, I will no longer allow myself to disrespect myself. Right. So you aren't looking for any sort of outside validation. You're not out there actively searching for acceptance. You know, a lot of times like we'll get into groups with people, like especially those that have always felt like an outsider. You know, like you weren't here to fit in. You're here to stand out, right? And we always search for that connection, for that connection, for that bond with other people. You know, and you'll get into a group of people and they'll be like, yeah, rah rah rah, shish kuba, like all love and all this and all that, but only under these circumstances. You know, so if you don't fit the criteria, you're not wearing the same kind of shoes, you don't wear, you know, pink on Tuesdays, or, you know, you don't drive the fanciest car, then they sides like, you can't sit with us, you know. Or you're like, okay, and then you're hurt by it, and then you go and try to find another connection, and you try to, you know, like bend and mold to fit into these certain boxes with these certain people, and it's like you don't fit in these boxes, you know. And like you have stopped trying to bend who you are to be approved by other people. You're like, you're either on my side or you're in my way, right? And you're all right, you got you. And you do have a support team. Like you have people out there that support you. You know, you're just waiting for your ships to come in. Like, you know, you don't know how, you know, but you know that you have done the work, that you have put in the time, you have done the work. You've let go of let go of the outcome, let go of the attachment. Like you've surrendered. You've surrendered to God's will, right? Like it is what it is. But that doesn't mean that you aren't going to change what you can change. And it's like that serenity prayer, you know? Yeah, you've tried to make whatever wrongs you've done right. You've offered apologies where you knew you were wrong. You've probably offered apologies even when you weren't wrong, just to try to keep peace. You've let you've let go of any resentment that you've been holding. It's like you might have people that you won't ever talk to again, but that doesn't mean that you want them to starve. It's like, yeah, sure, I want you to eat, but you can eat over there. You don't have to eat at my table, you know? And before, you were probably so seeking of acceptance that it didn't matter if you knew they were a snake. It didn't matter if you knew that they were laughing at you. Like, you still wanted them at your table just so you could have people at your table. And you're not like that no more. You're like, yeah, I don't want you to starve, but you're not sitting at my table. Like you're all about nothing but peace, man. Like if you don't bring peace into my life, you know what I mean? Like if you don't accentuate my peace, then there's no point in having you around. Right? It's like you don't want nothing that even smells like drama, smells like bullshit, smells like nonsense. You're like, nah. And that's a Libra card right there. You're just all about that self-care, you know? And self-care is more than just being bougie. You know, self-care is listening to your own inner self, like listening to when your intuition, when your body is rejecting someone. Like if you're out with on a date with somebody and like they are trying to kiss up on you or something, and just something in you is like, you don't like it, you know? Like back in the day, like I would let that happen because it was easier for me to just let it happen than to say no, right? Well, I think that you have learned how to listen to your inner self, to listen to when your body is rejecting somebody, especially if they're trying to get intimate with you without any sort of explanation. Like you don't owe nobody no explanation for nothing. Like if you don't feel something, a no is a no, right? I feel like if you feel like you've lost out on a lot of opportunities because of your lack of awareness, you know, like you didn't know what you know now, and you can't be mad at yourself for not knowing then what you do know now, right? They call it growing pains for a reason. And if the things that happened, if they didn't happen, you wouldn't be in the position that you are now. You wouldn't be as wise as you are now. You wouldn't be as discerning as you are now. You wouldn't be as happy as you are now if all of those things that happened didn't happen, you know? So it's easy for you to let go with peace, you know? I think you are turning on that creativity, like there's like a creative spark in you, you know, like you're really like taking control and like taking inspired action, you know, and pushing forward with nothing but hope. You ain't got nothing but faith, man. You probably live off faith. Everything and then some will always be provided for me. Everything I need and then some is always provided for me. And that has never failed you. Like you live on faith. That's how you've survived 99.9% of the things that you've been through, is because you've had faith. The faith of a mustard seed, man. That's all it takes. Just a little bit of faith. You remain hopeful. You remain calm. You know, there might have been a point in your life where you didn't feel like that at all, you know, but at this point in your life, like you definitely know, like you have too many receipts to not know that everything is going to be all right. If it's not it's like, it ain't the end, you know. If it ain't all right, then it ain't over. Because in the end, everything's going to be all right. All right, let's get you a yes or no question, Libra. Yes or no for Libra. Yes or no for Libra. Says no. Long-awaited events flow into your life like warm, murmuring streams of cleansing water. It envelopes you in a captivating sense of grandiose possibilities and significant changes. You don't allow a life to happen to you. You allow life to happen for you, right? There's a huge distinction of that. I remember when I was in my it's all happening to me phase, it took a whole lot of accountability for me to look at my patterns and my cycles and see where I was allowing those things to happen in my life, and to change the things that I knew I could change. And what I couldn't change, it was up to God. You know what I mean? Let go and let God. So Libra, I think I'm gonna title this "Living on Faith," man. You have lived on faith. You live. That's like you embody faith. So that's what's up. All right, Team Libra, you guys are doing great. I love you. Happy birthday. Until next time, beep beep.